So we got the Nets and the Celtics in the first round in the East. I believe it's one of the most anticipated first rounders out of all of them, more so than because it's KD versus Tatum. Both can score 40, 50 in their sleep. I definitely believe, obviously, a lot of it has to do with everybody's picking the Nets and everything. But let's be honest, chemistry not there. The big problem for Boston is Brown is out. Kemba's going to have to do more. I do think he can turn into that Hornets Kemba. Jason Tatum's going to do his thing. The Nets can't play defense. Celtics are kind of on the, they do have Marcus Smart and some Tristan Thompson, some role players that could, play defense. But I think this is going 6. I think the Nets will win in 6. I don't think it will be an easy series. And I do think I'm calling it that Jason Tatum is going to have a game winner in this series. I think he will win a game, at least for at the buzzer for the Celtics to push it to that 6th game. But yeah, I say Nets in 6. Go ahead, Drew.
I was talking to my brother the other night, and basically I was giving him all the reasons why I don't trust the Nets and how they've only played together 8 or 9 games with their main 3 people.
8 games out of 72.
What you call it? I was just like, yeah. I mean, I brought up the chemistry thing too because they've only played 8 games together. And then, I mean, he talked about how basically when they're on the floor, they can basically find a bucket between the 3 of them. But he still acknowledged that it was like a big question mark. And I mean, I that's basically what it is. Honestly, I can see the Nets winning in 7 or Celtics winning in 7. I can see both of them because for some reason, one of the 3 guys is not going to show up. When I was talking to my brother, he was like, as long as Harden's there, then it'll be fine for the Nets, which from a half-point game perspective, I can kind of see that. But then again, I told him, like, listen, Harden don't show up in playoff games. That's the whole reason. And then he goes on this tangent talking about, he didn't want to be in Houston, this, that, and the third. I'm kind of like, Houston, he's had weapons at Houston, you know what I mean? But he feels that there's more of a kinship with these guys here. And I mean, there could be something to that, but to say he wasn't playing alongside talent that could have got it done, he argued that Russ was hurt this last one. And I was just like, Russ was still getting you the buckets, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you still had a roster that, you were with. And then it was players that you asked for at Houston and you didn't make it happen. So initially, I guess I'd say Nets in 7. But if somebody's not showing up, I can easily flip to Boston in 7. But initially, Nets in 7.
I kind of just completely forgot about the fact that all three of these guys have all not shown up in the playoffs. KD when they had the 3-1 lead with the Golden State Warriors. Kyrie just picking and choosing when he wants to play basketball, and James Harden single-handedly basically dying on the same hill he built in Houston. So none of these guys really have like a good like playoff record. I mean, yeah, KD obviously when he went to the Golden State and got those 2 back-to-backs, and then Kyrie when he was with LeBron. So it's like they don't really have those moments outside of that, And then James Harden, he doesn't have any moments. He made the Western Conference Finals, but
twice.
That's about it.
3 times.
Yeah, that's about it. Like you always get there, but you fall apart. So I think with this team, honestly, bro, with this one, I can't pick a side. But if I had to pick, I would obviously pick the Nets because of the offensive firepower. But in all honesty, bro, like this is just a game by game scenario because both teams are just like.
Let me ask you this then: if they had Jaylen Brown, would you definitely pick the Celtics?
I'd pick Boston. If they had, I forgot about that guy. What is his name? Fournier. They got him. So yeah, I'm rocking with the Celtics on this one.
You're saying the Celtics in 7?
I'm picking the Celtics in 7 because they're all three of their stars are wishy washy, bro. And that's the biggest issue. And then you also got to understand defense is a factor that comes in too. Like you can't just be like you're like Shannon Sharp said, you're gonna have to go into every game scoring borderline 140 points just to fill the glass. And one's not on the floor, somebody's got to take his spot. Then he's not on the floor, somebody's got to take his spot. What is your bench gonna? Like there's no deepness on the bench. You gave up your future to get James Harden, who's on the not the decline, but in the next few years he's gonna his game isn't built on athleticism, so it's gonna be a different. He's gonna be a different it's gonna be a different decline for him because he's naturally, to me, he's a better point guard than he is any other than he does when he has to run a team. He's not built to run a team. He's built to be a floor general, but not necessarily like lead a team if he's the main focus as far as scoring is concerned, if that makes sense. So I just feel like the Celtics. I'm rocking with the Celtics on this one because I feel like in a weird way, the way we want to see I feel like it's gonna end up just like with the Clippers, bro. Everybody put their money on them, and Tatum is just he's gonna pull a rabbit out the hat and go crazy when it does go to 7 games, or he's gonna pull a rabbit out the hat and will them to 7 games and they lose. It's either one or the other. I feel like this isn't one of those series where it could kind of be both. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think not having Jaylen Brown is a huge thing. I think Kemba will show up, but we all know he hasn't showed up either. So I think that's the biggest factor in this series is Kemba Walker. More so than, you got James Harden, you got Kyrie, you got KD. I think Blake Griffin will give you some decent minutes, but at the same time, I think it's just too much firepower. And when you lose a top talent like Jaylen Brown, it kind of hurts you. But at least you do have a Kemba there, but I don't think that'll be enough. I think it could go 7, but I still think it will go 6 and the Nets win in 6 just because of Jaylen. If Jaylen Brown wasn't there, that's a toss up. This is, to be honest, if Jaylen Brown was healthy, this could have been a Eastern Conference Finals match.